So before we get started, a lot of you already know me. My company is called Digital Maestro. We can basically help people with anything that they're doing online. Built thousands of websites. Me personally, secured websites with the security piece. Got a team in place of 3 full-time employees. We help people with some social media strategy as well as some video advertising. So either this conversation can make your head explode or put you to sleep, or you'll be really interested. So we're hoping for number 3. All right, so first off, just real quickly, what is SEO? So SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it's about getting found in the search engine. So when somebody goes to Google, Bing, or Yahoo, they're looking up, they want to find some information about something, and you see the results. So how those results get presented to you is a result of the SEO that was done on the website. It's important to realize that SEO is not just about the search engines themselves, but about people, right? So you, me, everybody that's doing the searching. And we can't think of SEOs as a purely technical, do this, do this, do this, and you'll rank. Okay. Now, in the past, Dennis has actually talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Well, there's a big, important, famous, well-known website called Moz. You can look it up, moz.com. They're all about the technical stuff, all about the people parts of SEO, and that's what they live and breathe. Well, Moz has created the Moslow's hierarchy of SEO needs. And this is all about how you get found in the search engines. So at the very bottom, right, the first thing, if nothing else, that you need to have is what's known as crawl accessibility. And really that just means that, is your website able to be found by the search engines? Because obviously, well, it may not be obviously, there are ways where you can turn that off and you can tell search engines, don't find and don't index my stuff. I want to be hidden. I don't want anybody to know about me. And this might be because the website is a private website. It could be just for family members that know where to look. But without this, if you can't be found, well, your SEO will never get off the ground, right? So bare minimum, this is like food, water, and shelter for people on Maslow's hierarchy. First thing, you have to make sure that you can be found, that it's technically able. All right, so once we get that covered, there we go. The next thing you want to have relates to the content. And this is kind of where the people aspect comes in. You want to write what's known as compelling content. You want to have information out there that people are going to want to read and they want to absorb it. They want to know about it, right? It's nice to say that there's a niche for everybody out there, but really, if nobody is interested in what you have to say because of the topic, nobody's going to help out. You're not going to get really good SEO. So write compelling content. After that, once you have your content, then the next step is to optimize it with your keywords. You'll notice from steps 2 and now we're on 3, these are essential to getting ranked in the search engines. Okay. So once you have really good content, you need to spice it up with those keywords that you want to be found for. Okay. After you do that, and you have that on your website, it's important that your website provides a really great user experience. Nobody wants a slow website. Nobody wants a website that they can't navigate. Nobody wants a website of only text, right? It's got to be easy to use. It's got to load fast. It has to look good on any device, be it an iPad, an iPhone, a mobile device, or even a desktop, right? So people want to enjoy it. Without that, it's not going to happen. Once all of this is also in place, then you want to make sure that your content, going back to the compelling content, is that it's what's known as share-worthy. Share-worthy means that people are going to want to share it out there. Really, Google and search results is part technical. The other part of it is part popularity. Okay. So what does that mean? If you've written a blog post, or you have a page about information about what you do, and 2 people share it, Google goes, okay, these 2 people like it. But if 1,000 people share it, Google says, you know what, there's a lot of people that like this, it must be important. So you want to make it share worthy. Okay? You want to have people link to it and also cite it as a source. Okay, once all of that is in place, then you want to take a look at some of the more technical things. So it's kind of funny that SEO, everybody thinks about technical stuff for it, but this technical piece is about putting your keywords in the title and the URL and the description and embedding this stuff, on the page in a technical way. This is, there's a lot of other stuff that you can do and should do before you start monkeying around with this. But this now becomes some of the technical pieces. And then finally, at the end, there's something relatively new over the past couple of years called Schema Markup. And that's a way where you can literally tell the search engines that this piece of content is specifically a recipe, or it's an article, or it's about our business. And it's really fine-tuning each piece of that content. So you might have different descriptions of the type of information you have on a page. You might have that 3 or 4 different types. So when Google comes to it, it goes, oh, this really is an address. This really is somebody's job bio, or this is a resume. And obviously that's really getting to the technicalities piece of stuff. So when you're thinking about your website and your content and all that kind of good stuff, start at the bottom and work your way up. And as you can see, a lot of this really is all about content, writing good quality. It's more about quality than quantity. A website that has maybe 10 pages that's really good stuff and important and well written is going to be a lot better than a website with thousands of pages that's just kind of fluff. Once you get all that into place, then you can start to work on really getting the technical stuff involved. Any questions about that as I kind of go along? All right. So search engines are really just like answering machines. They answer the question, what content is likely to give the information that you're searching for, right? So this is why having all that information quality is going to be important. There's a difference between organic results and paid results. And before we even got started this morning, George was asking a question about PPC, and that's pay per click. So that's advertising. That's using money to buy the ads. So just let me quickly come down here. We're here at Google, and I'm just going to search for the phrase plumbers, just to give you a quick idea before I finish up. All right. So on this Google result page, you can see right at the top, it's telling me that there's 50 plus plumbers nearby. And if we look carefully, we can see over here that this is sponsored. Sponsored is code word for people paid to be here. So this is nothing against any of the plumbers that come up. AJ Perry's, they paid for this spot. Rich's Plumbing, paid. Bailey, paid. And as we go down, we have ads. This is another spot. So a lot of times people come in and go, oh, King George Plumbing must be the best because they're at the top. Well, really what it means is King George Plumbing paid the most to be in this spot when somebody searches for the word plumbers. Okay. Next, we have what's known as the 3-pack, Google 3-pack. That's here based on a lot of other factors. But then as we scroll down, we get into the real organic. So above this spot here, anytime we see ad or sponsored, those are paid. After that is organic. And organic just means that the search engines came through, they found you, and now they're ranking you and putting you here based on the information that's on your page. So don't think top is best. Just remember top is there because they paid for it. And then you just want to flip through real quick to, I'm going to pass a few things. Here we go. This is what I want to get to, is what search engines do, because a lot of time people always ask. There's really just 3 things that search engines do. They crawl, they index, and they rank. And a lot of times people say, I can't get found in the search engines. Well, the first thing it has to do is Google, Bing, Yahoo, any of these search engines, DuckDuckGo, they go out and they crawl the internet. They have programs or bots, spiders. They go and look for the content that's on your website. Right? So it's going to find all those pages. Once it finds it, based on your keywords, based on the SEO technical stuff, as well as the wording that are on there, it's going to index it and it's going to figure out what's important on the page, and it's going to then index it behind the scenes. Okay. Now, you can have a page that's indexed but doesn't necessarily get shown because of the third feature called ranking. Ranking is when Google says this is important. This is going to fit what those search engines, what those questions, those keywords are looking for. So there's a big difference between ranking on the first page when somebody types something in versus being ranked on the 10th page, right? Nobody's going to go click next. So just because Google knows you're there with the indexing doesn't necessarily mean that your ranking is high, right? They're two connected things, but very different. So with that, my time is up. Thank you very much. Any questions, just let me know, or we can schedule a one-to-one.